Hey everyone, you're watching the Esperanza 243. So exciting to be working on something for YouTube. It's been a long time, excluding the part 1 of this book reading. Where was I? We have the same guest star for this book reading video, Lady. I'm sure you can't see her right now. Hopefully she won't have to leave like last time. Hey, Lady. Oh. Say hi. She's such a beautiful dog. And look at my beautiful room. It's not as messy as it used to be. Isn't it awesome? There we go. Right? What the? I'll get it later. I did some gardening today. So exciting. If I can just get a camera that is compatible with my computer. The one my mom gave me is a really nice digital camera, but when I tried downloading the camera onto my computer, like the listing, it wasn't the camera, the certain brand of camera wasn't on the listing of cameras to put on my computer. Really strange. Anyways, let's do the book reading. Just to refresh your memory, I finished off the last video with Ashley's stepbrothers. One of Ashley's stepbrothers, Cornelius, and his daughter Cordelia were heading out for a dinner, and for the mayor's dinner. And Cordelia was telling Ashley that she was welcome to live with her after her other stepbrother moves out, who happens to be, what was his name? Sterling. I like that name, Sterling. And Sterling is staying behind while Cordelia and Cornelius go to the dinner, as is the stepmother. Okay, so here we go. In a matter of minutes, Ashley was in that same room in front of the fireplace. She looked around the room in a daze. She was pretty. She's slightly plump, with a height of 5 feet 9 inches. She had blonde hair and hazel eyes. "Ashley, set the table!" her stepmother cried out. "At once, ma'am," she replied. As she grabbed the silverware and went to the dining room, she started humming. She continued humming as she set up the table. Words came out as plates were being placed. "I'm a mermaid dancing upon the sea," she sang. She gracefully danced from the dining room to the kitchen. "Ashley, place some coffee with our meal," Sterling called out to her. She rushed with heating water as she continued humming. When she finished everything, she sat down in her spot in that room with the fireplace. "I know one spot in my house where no one can stand in my way, in my own little corner, in my own little chair," she whispered happily. Ashley started to daydream. Hours later, and far off from Ashley's house, there was a dashing young man with short brown hair and green eyes. He was riding a horse to his home, and what a grand home it was! His parents were waiting for him. The man had traveled far and was gone for several months. He was glad to be home. "Sir Edric, we should hurry home. It is getting darker by the hour," his right-hand man said. The young man looked at him and nodded. "Would you like to race there, then?" Sir Edric asked. He gave him a sly grin. The next second, he tapped his heels lightly against the horse. It started trotting. He tapped his heels again. The horse trotted faster. His right-hand man rolled his eyes and followed him as best as he could. "Do you have to race now?" he cried out. "For goodness sake, we could wake someone." The good sire gave him a look and chuckled. Suddenly, his horse halted, lifting its legs and whinnying. Sorry, couldn't help it. A young woman gasped as she toppled backwards. Sir Edric gasped as he tried to stop his horse before hurting her. He got off his horse and went to the young woman. "I apologize. Are you well?" "I am sorry. I was not watching for traffic," she rushed. She got up with his help. "The fault is mine. I was not watching where I was going." "Someone was chasing you?" she asked. He shook his head. "I was racing with my colleague, Kumar," he replied as the woman brushed off the dirt from her dress. He started breathing heavily. "I looked back to see how far he was. I should have paid attention to where I was going. I am sorry." "I see that you are out of breath, sir. Would you like a dipper of cool water?" She smiled faintly. Sir Edric saw the dimples in her cheeks as she smiled, and saw the ash on her face. He suddenly had that curious look. "You must be going somewhere important, then," she assumed. He nodded with surprise. "Why, yes, I am heading home. I've spent far too long away from home that I missed my family dearly. You do have a family, I suppose?" "I do, sir. I have my stepmother and stepbrothers. A lot of times they are a handful." Her eyes widened as she covered her mouth. Sir Edric smiled. "When is a family ever not a handful?" She giggled after taking her hands off her mouth, as he chuckled. He couldn't help admiring her smile. "What is your name?" "I am called Ashley, sir." He smiled. "That is a pretty name." He paused. "Why is your face so dirty?" "I sit by the fire frequently. The cinders fly, and my face gets smudged." She lifted her hands and tried to rub the ash off her face. That only made it worse. The ash thinned out and went all over her cheeks. The good sire chuckled. "Ah, I see. Ashley. I like it," he joked. She blushed. "I did not mean to embarrass you." She smiled shyly and stepped back. "I should get inside, sir. My, my stepmother doesn't like it when I talk to strangers." Sir Edric smiled. "I should like to see you again, Ashley," he said as he walked back to his horse. He got on and made his horse walk past her. As he and his right-hand man passed her, he waved goodbye to Ashley. "I would like that," she whispered. Not a second after that happened, the door to her house opened wide. "Ashley, what are you doing out there? Ashley, what are you doing out there?" Sterling hissed. She looked at him. "Get inside before Mother finds out. You know how she gets when she has a migraine." Her eyes widened as she rushed into the house. "How long has she had the migraine?" she asked quietly. "She's had it for about two minutes, but it feels much longer than that," he whispered. "I guess I should make her special tea then." In the meantime, Sir Edric arrived at his grand house. He walked up to a room on the second floor and entered it. "Ah, there's my son," someone said proudly. He smiled. "Hello there, Mother, Father." "Edric, my boy, I am glad you are home." "As am I, Father." He sighed. "I see no lady on your arm," his father said, as he sighed as well. "I am disappointed." "As am I, Father, as am I." "Do be wise with your words, my dear," his mother told his father. He nodded. "Well, you've had your fun, boy, but now you must do your duty." Sir Edric frowned. "What your father is trying to say, dear Edric, is that we want grandchildren to love and spoil." "When I was your age, I knew my duty and had to marry someone. Your mother, the woman I love." "Marry? Now?" Edric nearly cried. "I could not marry now. There are so many adventures out in the world calling my name. You want me to marry?" His parents gave each other a look and gave him a look. "Yes, I want you to marry. There are fair maidens all over town who would love to marry you, my boy. Why not pick one of them?" "I would rather wait and fall in love, like you two." His mother and father looked at each other fondly. "I think a ball would be lovely, don't you think, dear?" his mother asked his father. He looked at her dumbfounded. He quickly smiled. "What a splendid idea," he said. Edric began to panic as he watched him pick up a bell and ring it. As he watched him pick up a bell and ring it. I had that wrong. "We shall invite all the fair single maidens." "Wait a moment," Edric spoke up. His parents looked at him. "Should we have a ball so soon? I would rather wait a month or two." "My dear son, if we have the ball, perhaps love will follow." He thought about it. "You are quite right, Mother. Though if I do not find a woman to marry at this ball, I would like to choose a bride on my own, with no interference." "It is a deal, my boy," his father replied. The next second, a servant appeared in the doorway. He looked at the servant. Sir Edric is giving a ball. Details of the ball were then arranged. Since Cordelia had moved, she did not send word to certain people that she had moved. When her grandmother received the invitation 2 days later, she was surprised. Ashley had merely gotten a glimpse of it before Agatha snatched it out of her hand. Sir Edric is back in town? Her stepmother squealed. Great, now I'm messing up. Oh, I must tell the boys. Perhaps they might meet a woman to settle down with. Agatha started to walk away in search of her sons. Stepmother? Ashley called. The woman stopped and turned toward her. Ashley hesitated. May I go? The invitation says all eligible women in the house could go. I suppose you would think you would go and fall madly in love with someone, Her stepmother thought for a moment. Well, I suppose you could, if you can finish all your chores when we get ready. Oh, what would you wear? Ashley gasped and covered her mouth. Her face showed she was shocked, but her eyes looked hurt. That's right. You do not have anything else but what you're wearing. And I am going to stop there. All right. I forgot the taste of Simply Orange. All right. I guess I will let you guys go. Although I gotta show you guys this one thing. Walkie-talkie. I've had this walkie-talkie and another one just like this since I was little. And I make sure I put new batteries in it at least once every few years, because I honestly don't know if they get dead or not. But I finally put new ones in lately, and me and my sister have been having a ball with them. At least we did last night. We have code names for each other. I'm Brown Cow and she's Brown Chicken. That way when you say it together, it's Brown Chicken, Brown Cow! I love it! Brown Chicken, Brown Cow! I love that joke. It's one of my favorite jokes. Wish I could remember how it goes. Anyway, I will let you all go. This is the Esperanza 243 signing off.